in New Jersey. But we'll see what happens tonight. These two teams evenly matched. I mean, 6-6 all time between one another, so it should be interesting.
Monmouth with the road blues against Lehigh in the home whites from Stabler Arena. First shot misses, a 3 attempt from Bashir. He had 6 triples on Saturday in Newark, and he had 5 against Lehigh a year ago.
Yeah, Bashir is just a tremendous player for King Rice. He's certainly someone that moves the needle for Monmouth offense when we look for offense night in and night out.
A foul was called on Madison Durr for Monmouth, his first, of course, and the first for the team. Nice whip-in pass right there from Ben Knosman to Tyler Whitney-Sidney, who gets the scoring started with 2. Lehigh in a man-to-man defense. Give you the starters in a second for both teams. Back to Bashir up top, and around the perimeter they go. Jarrett Valencia now back to Bashir with 7 to shoot. Step back jumper is good.
And right on cue, Abdi Bashir can get his points at will.
Cam Gillis, Ben Knosman, Keith Higgins Jr., Tyler Whitney-Sidney, and Hank Alvey in the home whites. Doc Mordar, Abdi Bashir, Jarrett Valencia, Madison Durr, and Jack Collins in the road blues for Monmouth. Knosman in the paint, a kick out. Higgins for 3 is no good. And the long reach of Mordar brings down the rebound. Here's Collins, quick step up for 3 off the back iron, no good. And Hank Alvey able to get the rebound in front of Mordar. Knosman driving right side, lost it. Surprised not a travel call there. Whitney-Sidney looking for his second bucket. It's no good. Also contact with no call. And Mordar, again with that long reach, we'll probably be saying that quite a bit. 7-1 from South Sudan.
Anytime you have a 7-foot player down on the blocks like that, it's going to be a recipe for success defensively.
Keith Higgins got the block there. He's not 7-1.
Yeah, Keith gets into the defensive game just as much as he gets into the offense.
3 ball comes up short from Valencia. Collins tried the putback, no good. And Hank Alvey has another rebound. No slouch himself at 6'9". First year from Mapleton, Illinois.
Yeah, and Alvey is certainly someone who's going to have to step up for the Mountain Hawks for the remainder of this season, and especially tonight.
3 ball.
Obviously, no Adiasa this season for the Mountain Hawks, so definitely look for him to win the battle on the glass. That's certainly something that Brett Reed preaches every game, is to win that battle on the glass. Give yourself an opportunity to win that possession and get more points in transition.
Tyler Whitney-Sidney 5, Monmouth 0. Approach 2.5 gone by. No good there from Mordar. There's Cam Gillis, creates some space. Nice feed inside to Alvey, up and rolls it in. Hank Alvey missed a little bit of time. Came back and has been a big part of this Lehigh team so far, despite being that first year on campus. 7-2 your score. Up and no good. Can't get the roll in either. It's going to get knocked out last year, more towards the back end of the season. Tyler Whitney-Sidney also recorded his 1,000th point here at Lehigh. There's a jumper for Valencia. Out of the timeout, makes it a 3-point game. Knosman brings it across. Nice feed inside again, Alvey, but maybe blocked by Valencia. Here come the Hawks. Bashir with the left. Couldn't get the angle. Nice rebound there on the box out by Gillis. And Lehigh wants to push. 3 ball from Higgins is good in transition. Neither team wasting time to get down floor. Valencia, guarded by Knosman. Spins into the paint, up with the one hand, left it short. Rebound to Lehigh. And quickly up floor again, here's Higgins. A reach-in foul. That could be the second on Durr. Eric Demings and Cornelius Robinson III have checked in for Monmouth. Robinson had it, and around the perimeter it goes to Collins towards the far side. Back in the hands of Bashir. This should be a common occurrence. Demings, the trigger. Bashir, the quick trigger, no good. Tyler Whitney-Sidney caught it, was falling, and luckily for them, Lehigh able to maintain possession.
And he's right back into the action, Matt. So again, the theme of quickness for Lehigh. They definitely want to move quick and score quick, already up by 10.
And Hank Alvey gives Lehigh what they really haven't had in a while, that big force down low. You saw almost the aggression that he went to the hoop with on that one. It's more than just being a big body down low.
It'll be interesting to see Alvey's development throughout his 4 years at Lehigh. Because again, certainly someone they need. They haven't had, as you mentioned, Matt, they haven't had someone in the paint like him in a while who can really just dominate on the glass. He can chip in offensively.
Into the corner, Gillis for three. Little long. I think he knocked out of bounds last week. Looked like, where's the foul on that? Did not come. Chris Morgan has checked in, number 21 for Monmouth. Lehigh still rolling with their initial 5. 6.5 minutes in. Morgan, handoff to Demings. Back in the hands of Collins. Towards the baseline, left it short, off the rim, but he is
a little more this year, and especially going down the stretch in their tough non-conference slate.
Only hit the first, but has a chance for 3. Left that one off the back iron. So just 1 point on that possession, and Lehigh is doubled up on Monmouth 14-7. We crossed the 13-minute mark. Whitney-Sidney. As Bube Moma had come in for Alvey, and Joshua Ingram, Nasir Whitlock, a couple of changes during that free throw. Collins. Looking inside to Morgan, it goes out of bounds. Foul the paper. Justin Ray also in the game, number 7. An opportunity to get Bashir a little bit of a break before he get that under 12 media timeout. Expect he's going to be out there for most of the game today. Inside Bube Moma, he's coming off a big game. Count it with a foul. Came in just 50%, 2 of 4. Again, missed some time, missed the first 4 games at least. Working his way back into the lineup. Now he's 3 of 5 on the year. There's a 3 ball in the corner from Jack Collins. He's got 4 points, answered that 3-point play by Moma. 7-point Lehigh advantage. Still relatively early. Edward Benoit is out there for Lehigh. Here's Ingram, a 3 to answer off the rim, no good. And the one-handed rebound by Chris Morgan.
Just going up strong over the first year at Benoit.
Inside to Robinson. Jump shot from the paint, no good. Benoit got the rebound, and a lot of conferences did the same. Other than that, they've played every year in non-conference over the last, like I said, 7 or 8 years. And I mentioned before, a lot of these games have been pretty close, too.
Yeah, always pretty close when Lehigh and Monmouth square off against each other. I mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, 6-6 all time between these programs. It's always good to see programs that have a good, strong relationship between one another. Some trouble here.
And there's a steal. Almost turned it over prior to that. But Demings able to get the steal.
Sorry, Matt. As I was alluding to before, it's always good when 2 teams have a good, strong relationship against one another. Certainly King Rice and Brett Reed, 2 people that are respected coaches in this industry. They speak highly of one another. They speak highly of one another's programs. So it's always interesting when these two teams match up.
Justin Ray, no good for Monmouth. This here, Whitlock brought that one across the line. Now towards the far side. Well, Moma had an opening there to take the shot from the elbow. Said got into the hands of Higgins. 6 to shoot for the Mountain Hawks. Step back 3 on the way, short. And it gets kicked out of bounds. So Keith Higgins will be the trigger with 20 on the shot clock. Step back and feed inside now to Moma. Out to Benoit for 3. Got it.
3-point basket, Edward Benoit.
Edward Benoit, first year, makes it a 10-point advantage. Demings, kick out to Ball. Now to Robinson, spins towards the paint. Contact with no call. That one, they did not reset the shot clock. Ray in the paint. Turnaround is no good. Off the back iron. Robinson tried to sneak that one in, but to no avail. 0 for 3 on that possession.
Contact on Robinson down low.
Benoit gets another with a chance. That one is good. And all of a sudden, he leads all scorers with 7 points. 2 for 2 from downtown. And then the and one. Bashir's back in there now. Looking inside, that one nearly went up and in off the pass. Try to hit Valencia. And again, real quick down the line, down the floor. Ingram powers his way in, and they're gonna get him for a travel.
To moving the ball quick up the floor, pushing the pace like we mentioned earlier. They really seem committed to the game plan. They talked about it earlier before the game, and they've really stuck with it so far, taking the game to Monmouth. We've seen a couple times Lehigh, kind of resting back, letting the game come to them, but, currently up by 14. Game plan's working. Why would you mess with it?
Defense is working on this possession too. Durr in the paint, just off the paint, no good. Trying to save him going out of bounds, but it's going to Lehigh. Up to Benoit, and he lays it in. What hasn't he done? Again, getting down the floor.
And Brett Reed's been impressed with all of his first-year class, but I think especially with Benoit. Certainly pleased with that play a moment ago. Had a career-high 12 against Valley Forge a few weeks ago, so might see another career-high for Benoit tonight.
Valencia gets his second bucket. Breaks the run. Still 14-point advantage now. 7.5 to play in the opening half here at Stabler Arena. Moma double teamed. Long cross-court pass, and there's that reach at 6'8".
Certainly helps being that tall, too.
Does he have another in him? That one's off the rim. And Galvey comes back in place of Bube Moma. We talked about Alvey earlier, the first year. Like you mentioned, Brett Reed very high on his young players. Really putting them into pivotal roles. 3-ball attempt from Collins off the rim. Alvey, another rebound. That's his third.
Yeah, really testing his first-year class early on and often. They saw crucial time against UCLA. They saw a lot of playing time against Northwestern, and Alvey obviously the starter this evening. So he's really putting them in situations where, they might get a little beat up against these higher-level opponents, Northwestern, Georgetown, UCLA, but he's really testing them and trying to see if they will succeed, and eventually they'll grow from these situations. They'll develop as better basketball players and as better men.
This year, Whitlock had the last bucket. Alvey. Nothing doing down low. Tried to go back door. Ends up back in his hands. Now Ingram. He's trying to create some space. Move his way around through the paint. And the big trees. 3 to shoot. Whitlock will do just that. Off the iron. Alvey tips it to Bashir. And he'll bring it across. A little shake and bake, but lost it. They're going to get Josh Ingram on the highly thought of and highly utilized. No good from 3 was Bashir. As it has a lot of good young talent. Of course, we're going to hear a lot and talk a lot about Keith Higgins and Tyler Whitney-Sidney, 2,000-point seniors on this team. But there's a lot of first and second year players that are getting a lot of good play.
Sometimes when you have a young team like the Mountain Hawks, Matt, it's easy to say, oh, they're young, they're inexperienced, and that translates into their record. But no, they're experienced. Oh.
Corey Miller, number 5, is in for the first time. Hounded by Ingram. Does get it across the line as we approach the 5-minute mark here in the first half. Bashir thought about that quick 3. Instead, it's Miller between the rings. Looking for Bashir, finds him. 6 to shoot. Off balance. He's going to go to the free throw line. They're going to get Josh Ingram on him. He's got 6 so far tonight. Hit 5 3-pointers a year ago. So far, he's 0 for 2 from downtown. Gillis. Whitney-Sidney. Got it. Was looking for the call. Did not get that, though. Second triple for Tyler Whitney-Sidney. He's got 8.
And Tyler Whitney-Sidney, not the best shooter last season. I know he contributed and obviously scored his 1,000th point last year, but a bit of a down year for him in terms of his standards shooting-wise, so that's something that he really tried to work on and develop this offseason, so it's good for Brett Reed to see that paying off tonight.
There's the first triple for Bashir.
Good for King Rice to see the triple for Bashir paying off tonight, and it's really at 6'7", a guard for Bashir. It's really kind of unfair. He has that long reach. He has the ability to sort of just run so quickly, gets the ball in his hands, and of course, right up the floor.
Collins is going to go back to the line. It was a case where it was Monmouth trying to get that advantage, and they get 2 points out of it at the line.
Yeah, rebound down below their basket, a pass up ahead from Bashir, and then 2 steps Collins up, but he gets fouled.
14-point game. Gillis, like a yo-yo, went out and back in for the layup. He's got 2.
Don't think I've heard that one before, Matt. Describing a player, Cam Gillis. I mean, that was a perfect description, however.
Did it not fit? That's the point.
It did. The shiftiness from the sophomore Cam Gillis, and
Collins looking for 3. He's going to get 3 shots. 9 points for Collins. 6 of them at the line now, 6 of 7. He's hit 5 in a row in the last minute of game time or so. Back in the hands of Gillis. Bashir on him. Tried a little pick and roll, but did not get Alvey. Now it finds its way inside. A little double team action. A kick out Higgins off the back iron. And a foul down low. Looks to be on Cop. Good. His career high is 12, which he got against Valley Forge. On his way to surpassing that. Cross-court pass. Demings backs his way in. Hand off to Bashir. It's not going to count. It is a moving screen, but it is the team's 8th.
Demings just a little too much momentum getting into the Lehigh player, knocking him over. Flip the floor to Lehigh.
Whitney-Sidney skips his way in. He's in double figures with 10. A lot of bodies he had to skip through, but it was almost an uncontested layup then once he got there. Collins for three, bumped again, no call, no good on the shot. He's going to get another opportunity, also no good. Does he get a third? The team will. And he will. And he makes good. Third time's the charm on that one. Team still down 14 though. With a minute 15 left till halftime. Benoit to answer off the rim. Rebound came down to Monmouth and Demings. 1 minute left in the half. Mecca sets the screen now for Bashir, skips his way in. He's going to go back to the free throw line.
Excuse me, Matt. So just a tremendous player in it. It'll be interesting. It'll be fun to watch his development over these next 2 years and over the course of this season.
Need to get it across the line, and they don't. Great defense, especially by Bashir. Monmouth, and I don't believe he was highly recruited. Give King Rice a lot of credit for finding the diamond in the rough, who misses the three. But it was right there, just off the front of the rim. Under 30 seconds left. About a 2.5 to 3 second differential, shot clock to game clock. Lehigh can't officially dribble it out here, but they certainly could take the majority of this and essentially end the half. Leading by 12. There's just 4 seconds to shoot now. Benoit, and they're not going to get it off.
Doing some change on the clock for Monmouth.
2.2, Bashir from half court, and he left that one short. Time there, Jack Collins for Monmouth. His mother played basketball here at Lehigh. Jen Shamasco, class of 91, 7th all-time in rebounds.
Yeah, 7th all-time, 708. Played on some pretty good Lehigh women's basketball teams. And Jack Collins, sort of a, I guess if you want to call homecoming for Jack Collins coming back into Stabler.
6'5", he
obviously those bench points for Monmouth. You need to have your role players chip in more. You know what I see from the stat sheet is a bunch of zeros. You know, players not even getting looks. Some players are 0 for 3, 0 for 2, but a handful of the Hawks bench players 0 for 0. So they're not even getting looks in the minutes they're seeing on the.
For 2 was Durr. He's got 2 points. What jumped out to me with the stats, we saw it on the screen, 54% for Lehigh, 22% shooting from the floor for Monmouth. 6 more made baskets. So we have a foul on Monmouth. Put in what was a 12-point game. You get 6 more made shots. That's the difference right there.
And they started off pretty slow, Monmouth did, in that first half. Sort of ramped up their intensity and their focus level in the latter stages of that first half, but still down by a bundle.
And it's a bundle plus 3 now as Higgins hits his second triple of the game. And Cam Gillis is going to get his second foul. So what was 2 fouls called on each team? We haven't yet played 90 seconds.
Slows things down a little bit, but I don't know. I think things might ramp up a little more. You might see a little more sense of urgency from Monmouth being down this many.
They're winning again.
Sorry, Matt. It seems right now they're at least attacking the paint more often than they did in that first. Had that hernia issue in the offseason, missed a lot of time, missed a couple of games earlier this season, but you know, he's back to playing basketball. Still not 100% on the season so far, but In the games he has been able to battle through his injury, he's done a pretty good job at contributing tonight. But Keith Higgins, good court vision, seeing players well. Obviously that backdoor behind the back pass to Higgins.
So he's opened up the three-point shot this year. He doesn't have any yet today. He doesn't have any points. Also, he hasn't taken any shots. He's been more of the distributor when he's been out there. I spoke with Greg Falkenbach, a Lehigh Hall of Famer and a radio broadcaster here. Ran into him over the weekend, and we'll get to that in a second as Collins left that one short, and Knosman on cue gets that rebound. He's noticed that Knosman has just really understood this is it for him, as Alvey slams it home with 6 points, and that Knosman really put in the effort to make himself better from outside and that ball distribution, realizing, look, senior year is all you get.
And it's low-hanging fruit sometimes, seeing the final box score after a game and seeing that a player only has a certain number of points, and it's low-hanging fruit saying, oh, they're not playing well this year because they're not getting that many points. But it's the little nitty-gritty stuff that he's doing well. 4 assists in some games, a couple of games with a lot of rebounds. Doing well tonight.
Alvey working inside, up with it, got it again. He's got 8.
So is Hank Alvey, and that Lehigh bench loving the muscle.
And that's what we referred to earlier. And it's not a knock on any of the other bigs lately for Lehigh, as it's going to be a foul called and his bigs. But he just has that different look. That's the first miss of Bashir all season long, by the way. And back in the hands of Bashir. Guarded by Gillis. Step back 3 on the way. Couldn't bank that one in. And it's going to be a foul called on Morgan. Rebound. Morgan also went after it and kind of knocked him off kilter as he came down.
We're seeing a more aggressive game in this second half. Players up in each other's faces, and it's natural. It sounds elementary in the first half of every ball game. Players really sort of test sense of urgency, but now they've seen each other for 20 minutes, 20 plus minutes of basketball so far, so they know what buttons to push. They know when to go inside. They know when to go for loose balls.
Honestly, you got 5 for Lehigh. Monmouth right behind at 4 now. And both teams are shooting very well from the line. We could be having a lot of foul shots down the stretch, but got to get there first. Tip caught there by Robinson. Now he's going to work his way back in. Puts it up in traffic, no good. And tip to Tyler Whitney-Sidney for the rebound.
Robinson using his length on the rebound, but just has to finish.
Feed inside from Gillis to Moma. Count it with a foul. For his 6 points. He averages 7 a game. Coming off a 17-point performance on Saturday night here at home against Marist. Missed some time early, trying to work his way back, and he's going to get a steal.
Bube Moma, a player that you talk about guys knocking on the doorstep. Well, he's knocking right on the doorstep each and every night. Fortunately for him, Marist was the game where that door was open.
And I haven't jinxed it yet.
It'll be important down the stretch in this season in the non-conference schedule, and then going into the conference schedule for Lehigh for Bube Moma to really unlock his full potential for the Mountain Hawks. A little thin at that forward/center position for the Mountain Hawks, but Bube Moma represents a lot of size. There's a lot of strength down low on the blocks. So someone that they will really rely on getting those points in the paint and getting some tough contacts.
Whitney-Sidney drains it from the corner. His 3rd triple. He's in double figure. He had 10. Now he has 13 points. And this now the largest lead of the night of 22 for the Mountain Hawks.
And we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, Matt. Whitney-Sidney doing a good job this offseason trying to develop and work on his shot at block there from Keith. believe he had one earlier in the game in the first half, so I think he's up to 6 on the season.
He did have one credited him earlier. And that ball did go out of bounds off Monmouth, so Lehigh has a chance to extend this 22-point lead. Higgins hesitated, he lost the handle, was looking for a foul there. Did not fall and did not get the call either.
So
Collins stripped by Keith Higgins on cue. And a foul is called.
He realized, you know, my momentum is taking me a little too far from the basket, so at least get, to your point, Matt, at least get something out of going up to the cup.
He hit them both. 13 points now to match the jersey number. Ray lost it going up, but it's back to Monmouth. Robinson, the nice move, can't finish. Have another opportunity, can't finish. Maybe blocked by Benoit behind. And Lehigh starts the fast break again. Flip back to Nasir Whitlock.
Tremendous job from the first year. Benoit just
Lock the trigger for Brett Reed's team. Whitney-Sidney trigger off the inbound, no. Monmouth ball. Lehigh 7 of 15. So for a moment they were at 50% from downtown. Excellent shooting, over almost 60% from the floor. There's Demings, no good. Bube Moma the rebound. Conversely, under 23% for Monmouth as Tyler Whitney-Sidney now up to a 26-point lead. The second half so far, 22-8 in favor of the Mountain Hawks. Demings to Bashir. Back to Demings up top, into the corner. Collins, quick trigger for three. Off the iron, no good. And Bube Moma has another rebound. That's his third. He's got 8 points. Looking to get the double figures for the second consecutive game. He's got it there, but poked away. Trying to find Benoit. A 3-on-1. Collins back to Valencia, missed it, but a blocking foul called. Second shot is no good. And it comes down to Lehigh. .4% shooting for Monmouth, 58.8 for Lehigh. There's Moma, whips it to the corner, Benoit. Extra pass out top, and Whitlock wants that one back. Under 11.5 to play. Bashir, he's got 12 points. Couple buckets early, a 3 as well. Valencia for 3, no. Benoit the rebound. Feed down low, Ingram to Whitney-Sidney. Basket good and a foul.
Receiver. So Tyler Whitney-Sidney certainly appreciating that pass.
He had 10 points at the break. He's up to 18, gonna be one more. Not only is it shots, it's 2 the rest of the way. Gillis directing traffic, guarded by Collins. Feed inside to Moma. Found some space, couldn't finish, didn't get the contact either. Mismatch down low if they could find it. As Whitlock is guarding Robinson, but now Robinson has it. Flip to Bashir, sets himself up for a 3 off the rim. Looks like they're gonna get a call on Gillis. A little too much trying to.
21st foul shot right there. 17th made one.
(64-38). Whitlock, soft touch, did not get the roll. Robinson the rebound.
Unfortunate bounce for Nasir Whitlock. He's been around the rim for the better part of this game. You know, and sometimes it's frustrating. It's hard to see that for a player, but you know eventually the more they try, it will eventually go in for them.
Monmouth just can't buy a bucket. Benoit for three, got it again.
And we're seeing the confidence from Benoit the first year. That's a great sight for Brett Reed.
It's a new career high now with 14.
You saw him as the ball was on the other side of the court. He was frantically calling for it.
And that remains. Now up to 16 points to lead his team, doubling his average of 8.2. Yeah, maybe playing where his mom starred in the late 80s, early 90s. Has been an inspiration. Bashir creates some space, lets loose on a three, drains it. He's up to 15.
And that's what King Rice means about shooting on all three levels. He can score from anywhere, create his own shot, that step back in transition. So Bashir, just a real heady player. Very smart, very intelligent, high basketball IQ. It's no wonder that he's leading this offense.
8.5 to play. And another foul called on Robinson. That is his.
Into guys and you commit fouls. So it's kind of a fine line that you need to walk, especially being down as much as Monmouth is down. You know, they want to try and come back in this game and not give Lehigh any opportunity to pad their score. Great pass down low.
Nice dish to Robinson from Bashir. Cornelius Robinson III with his first points.
Great pass down low. I thought that was almost going to be a little bit of a Dr. J moment, excuse me, when he went under and up, but he went under, passed out at the last second, so.
Well, that is the first miss for Lehigh at the line today. They hit their first 18. No good on the three. And Ingram will corral that for Lehigh. This is a team that's 63.7% at the line coming into today. To hit their first 18 is pretty impressive, Ryan.
It's very impressive, and it's, you know, a part that kind of goes unnoticed, you know, being so sound at the foul line. But points are points, foul points are foul points.
They all add up.
They all add up, and it certainly contributes to Lehigh being at 72 right now.
Joshua Ingram. And almost a quiet 17, though. 2 made buckets earlier. He has sprinkled in 2 three-pointers as well. And look, I don't want to discredit what you just said, too. Points are points. And a 17-point game is phenomenal. As Alvey slams it home, he's got a double-figure game with 10.
Second, very strong going up to the cup. Hank Alvey.
We're going to get more free throws here.
Yeah, more free throws. And again, let's give credit, you know, to Monmouth, and let's give credit to Jock Collins, Abdi Bashir. But a lot of times when things aren't going well, you know, you think the sky is falling around you. But
you know what's falling? Shots.
Exactly. But you have to go back to what's working for you, and free throws clearly are working for this team right now. Causing those fouls, causing those turnovers, they're clearly working for this team right now. It's just not falling from distance like Bashir just there.
Tyler Whitney-Sidney now with 20 points. Lehigh looking to answer, or extend their lead, I should say. Benoit, 15 to shoot. A lot of time left. Except they lost the ball there, and it's going to go right back. Monmouth was in position to either steal the ball, get a rebound, and they end up losing it out of bounds. The shots are just not falling. One side 22.4%, the other 58.1%.
And that's something that King Rice mentioned throughout the week is, you know, sometimes things can be stubborn in that aspect.
Benoit down low, blocked from behind.
You know, you keep going up strong. You keep shooting the three. You keep going to the foul line and causing those fouls and turnovers.
There's an annihilation, and that's why there's the second shot, which was good for the three-point play.
You know, nothing from Demings, nothing from Morgan tonight so far, so they really need to get contributions from each and every guy. Lehigh seeing it, Monmouth not so much. Good takeaway there from Collins.
Yeah, real nice. Durr through the paint.
Good spin move as well.
He wants it back. He gets it from Bashir. Up with the right, Durr, no good. Bube Moma, another rebound in traffic as we hit the 5-minute mark. 25-point lead for the Mountain Hawks. Bube Moma wide open. Made it more difficult than it needed to be, but he's in double figures with 10.
Quick passes, Bube Moma. He could have easily went to his left-hand side, but decided to cut it to the right. Made it a little tougher on himself, but good quick passes and a good decision from Ben Knosman. Almost like a hockey one-touch pass over the top to Bube Moma.
Bashir gets to 19. High off the glass. Lehigh 17 assists on 26 made buckets. Gotta love the distribution. Could be another assist. It would be, because that's another triple. 23 now for Tyler Whitney-Sidney. And King Rice needs another timeout. And we will step aside as well. 3-5 off bucket and the foul shot. After a good Saturday game as well. The Lehigh feasting on the home cooking. Robinson down low. He's going to have an opportunity for an and one.
Tapping Robinson, coming down on him instead of staying up. It's hard, it's tempting. I realize that. I was in that situation many a time, but you just have to realize that you have to stay strong and stay up rather than going horizontal.
So that was a three-point play for Robinson. Keith Higgins will be the trigger underneath. Gillis feed inside to Higgins. Extra pass, Whitney-Sidney off the back iron. Knosman tipped it to himself. And here's Higgins. Extra pass to Knosman. Does not get rewarded for keeping the play alive. Hit the rim. Higgins tipped it. A couple of passes are now tipped here, but Monmouth holds on to the possession as Bashir left that one short. Mordar almost got that one to fall. It's going to a couple of substitutions for Lehigh. We'll get you that in a second. Here's Bashir for three. Got it. So he's got 22 points. So maybe not as quiet as it was at first. Jake Pike, Alfredo Adeza, and Peter Kramer have checked in for the Mountain Hawks with Conniff and Gillis. Pike, the lefty, shot no good. And it's going to go the other way. Madison Durr with the rebound. Looks to take it himself. He's going to go to the free throw line. He's got double figures, Durr with 10. 3 players in double figures. Bashir with 22, Collins 17, now Madison Durr with 10. Gillis with a defender riding him the whole way, still gets the bucket.
Good defense by Durr on Gillis, you mentioned, Matt, with him the entire way.
They did not.
Really good Division I opponent. It's important to get these role players, these players that come off the bench, some run and sort of build their confidence a little bit in a ton of time that they still have to play.
Ray didn't get that one to fall, but he...
Reed, and maybe they'll go to them more often.
Justin Ray hits both. Lucas Orchard and Quinn Peters check in for Monmouth. So both teams, there's Quinn Peters with a steal. Almost tripped, missed, and that did not go. Here comes Lehigh.
I think Peters was thinking about going up aggressively, so I think he got a little too far ahead of himself.
Jake Pike from downtown.
Good stroke from Jake Pike. We've seen that a couple times this season in that game against Valley Forge. Jake Pike contributed in that second half.
Did not go for Lucas Orchard. Adeza with the rebound, a minute to go. Swallowing the whistle now a little bit. Here's Kramer. Skips through, and there's going to be a reach-in foul. And one didn't go in. And a blocking foul called. Brendan, second one is up, and no good. We're going to get some more, though. Just not for them. It's going to go. And the second is short, but it will stay with the Mountain Hawks. Kramer for three, got it.
That's something that Brett Reed likes out of Peter Kramer. His one of the handful of first years on this mountain single time.
And it's one thing to get some play towards the end of the Valley Forge game, which, in all honesty, is a Division III team. To drop 90, pushing a 30-point lead on a Monmouth team that maybe record-wise isn't great, but still a tough foe. Reed thought about it, now drives in, gets blocked by Orchard with 5 seconds left. Bounce pass to Miller, gets swiped away, and that's how it ends, almost fittingly, that the